Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue, ça c'est la première leçon de la leçon 1 du chapitre 1, la nouvelle grammaire à apprendre. Alors s'il vous plaît, suivez avec moi à la page 11 et 12. For any of the grammar point videos that I will be making, you can either follow along with me with your physical textbook or the online ebook. I suggest the physical textbook just because it's out in front of you and you can also write notes in it. However, the ebook can also be used to write notes in using text boxes, and you can also highlight the ebook with 3 different color highlighters, which is a really cool thing. So whichever way works for me. Anyhow, for this grammar point, I'm going to be breaking down a couple of irregular verbs. Suivre, courir, mourir, rire, conduire, savoir, and connaître. Now, by this point, I assume that you have taken French 101 and 102, or somehow you've been placed in 201, so you know how to conjugate basic verbs, ER verbs like parler, IR verbs like finir, and RE verbs such as descendre. Okay? So make sure that you review pages, let's see, pages 2 and 3, if you need to review any of those verbs in the present tense at least. Okay, we're not going to worry about any other tense yet. You will be going over a couple more later on in the course. Anyhow, let's look at the first verb, suivre, to follow a course. Or it also means to physically follow. So let's take an example. Combien de cours suivez-vous? Un cours, 2 cours, ou 3 cours? Assuming that, this is during the semester, but now that, you're taking a summer session, I'm assuming this is the only class that you're taking. Now the next verb is courir. Courez-vous souvent? Moi, je ne cours pas souvent. En général, je ne fais pas beaucoup d'exercices parce que j'étudie beaucoup. Alors, je ne cours pas souvent. The next verb is mourir, and even in English, the French people don't use the verb to die all that often unless they're talking about somebody who's dying, or an expression of dying. For example, if you look in the book, I also have it right here. Je meurs de faim, which means I'm dying of hunger. You know how to say I'm hungry, j'ai faim. So also you can say I'm dying of thirst. Okay, je meurs de soif. Okay, je meurs de soif. Okay, the next verb is to laugh, rire, and it's conjugated irregularly, just like all the other verbs. But there's another verb similar to rire, which is sourire, which means to smile. Okay, just like in this example, we have rire. Quand riez-vous? Dans quelles circonstances est-ce que vous riez? Par exemple, je ris quand je suis avec ma famille. Est-ce que vous riez quand vous êtes avec votre famille? Oui ou non? Okay, the next verb is conduire. Conduire means to drive, to physically drive. Metaphorically, driving as in emotionally driving somebody into a certain emotional state is a different verb. So let's just focus on the actual verb to drive a car. Alors, j'ai 2 questions pour vous. Conduisez-vous tous les jours? Oui ou non? Moi, je conduis tous les jours. Et la deuxième question, qu'est-ce que vous conduisez? Okay, and one way to answer to this question is moi, je conduis. Moi, je conduis une voiture. But if you actually want to mention the make of the car, you use une. Okay, any brand of car is feminine because car is feminine to begin with. So you can say je conduis une Ford or je conduis une Toyota, etc., etc. Honda or GMC, etc., etc. Now the last two, it also continues to the other page, page 12, are two verbs and they both mean to know. Savoir and connaître. Okay. Now, how do you distinguish between the two of them? Well, the verb savoir actually means to know, either from memory or ability. So the verb savoir can also translate to know how, without using the word meaning how, which is comment. Okay, the word comment is only a question word, how, as in how did you get to class or how do you do the homework. Okay. So let's look at this question. Savez-vous conduire à LA? Savez-vous parler espagnol? Oui ou non? Savez-vous la date de la fête nationale de l'année? La date de la fête nationale de France. Okay? So do you know how? And it also means do you know an idea? Okay, an intangible idea, such as the date of something. By the way, the day of independence in France is July 14th, just so you know. Okay, and then the other verb is connaître. Connaître also means to know, like I said. However, it is synonymous with to get acquainted with or familiar with. So let's take this question right here. Connaissez-vous ASU? Do you know ASU, or are you familiar with ASU? Connaissez-vous vos amis? Okay. Connaissez-vous bien vos amis? Oui ou non? Moi, je connais bien mon meilleur ami. Moi, je connais bien ma famille. Bien sûr. Last but not least, I want to mention two other things. When you put savoir and connaître in the past tense, they both use the helping verb avoir. Regardez les exemples. J'ai su hier soir. So this is savoir in the past tense, and this is connaître in the past tense. J'ai su actually means I found out, versus j'ai connu, which means I met, okay, or I first got familiar with, figuratively, my husband, for example. Okay, j'ai su hier soir, I found out last night. J'ai connu mon mari l'année dernière. I met my husband last year. Okay, d'accord, ça c'est tout pour votre leçon aujourd'hui. S'il vous plaît, continuez dans cette page 12, avec la première activité A, voyage, avec la conjugaison des verbes. Alors, merci, au revoir.